There we go. So it's kind of incidental, but I guess it's kind of useful to break up the stream into those sort of like digestible segments for archiving later. Let's see.
Saves editing.
So I guess this is the dude that 206 Terry Street. What did I?
What the stream just stopped for me. Hang on. Damn
You've
it.
already got.
Yeah, that was the. This is the guy who lived in that house where I got the figure. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's really. I actually don't remember having seen this before. This is something I must have skipped by on all my million of playthroughs.
Wait, so is this the guy whose blood it was then, or?
Yeah,
Presumably,
Okay.
yeah.
he's the guy who won the number 12 figurine.
And really nice in a town full of psychopaths to put his Polaroid up, where everybody can see and know that he has this coveted item. That's I like the color bleeding at the bottom of the Polaroid. I also like that Polaroid style photographs are kind of like, we're in a future that because of the digital, because of like the moratorium on digital technology. Everything is analog, so we are not in a future with digital cameras or anything like that.
So,
it's especially creepy.
Polaroid goes gangbusters.
It's especially creepy because it's not just a Polaroid of the guy; it's his address posted right there too.
Oh yeah, you're right.
There are other Polaroids. Like there's an entire board full of them.
This is the little out of the way nook that I think a lot of people overlook. This is Julia Kasugi, who is the hit many times with gun boss.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
And I think it's interesting that she does not have her glasses because those survived her self-explosion. I think it's also interesting how a lot of these people who you meet as remnant psyches afterwards they basically thank you for having killed them.
Yeah. She's just like, hey, thanks. Later.
Always wanted to come to Texas.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
Thanks for killing me. That was real nice of you.
These are those are a lot of AC units for a building this large, or rather this small. But
it's real hot in Texas, dude.
It is Texas.
God, tell me about it. When we went to, and just as a Texas-related aside, when my mom drove out to Texas to help us move to Tennessee, and she's from South Carolina to Tennessee and all this other stuff. She was not prepared for the 108 degrees that we had out there. Whereas my wife and I had packed away I think maybe half the house. She had wilted so much because the heat was unexpected that she had a box of dishes packed and was like, okay, I'm going back to the hotel to lay down. Basically, I was like, Mom, thanks for bringing the U-Haul. We'll take it from here.
It's so weird to me because people who live in those areas complain about going up north where it's cold. Like, how do you live up there? I'm like, how do you live down there?
Uncomfortably. That's the only answer.
These guys don't get...
We do
Pretty sure you got everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you just need
there's the post office, not the post office, there's the hardware store or whatever I have to show the picture I have to get into. But that's on the other side of the tracks.
So is the post office, though.
Yeah. Oh, right. And the post office will not unlock unless you have all 12 figurines. That's right. Okay.
There's you go to the post office, you show the photo at the door, something opens up. And then I think it's City Hall at the end of the street.
No, I think it is the post office that's at the end. I think it's the post office that's the entryway to Almeida's facility. And I think maybe kind of appropriately, since that, of course, is where where he got his ignoble start.
Oh yeah, it's a drugstore. I remember. I'm getting that stuff.
It's so... Oh, man. This level is also so weird because it is the closest that you get to being in a place that might actually be inhabited by normal human beings doing things that are unrelated to international politics and the act of killing other human beings. Like this...
And yet...
And yet, I come here to bring the pain.
And there's nobody here.
Yeah. Well, I kind of like, I don't know, I parse these joggers as actual residents.
Well, there are people here, but they're all anime.
Yep, that's Texas in a nutshell. Basically anime.
Yep.
Republicans and anime.
Where's the photo of God? Lines I would not expect to see in a video game.
Thanks, game. That was almost
Dude.
subtle of a hint. Oh yeah, this.
You get a photo of... You have a photo in your inventory of every single target. This seems to be the only one where it comes up.
Do they use these style cutscenes in the rest of the game? I forget.
No, this is the
I
only
don't
one
think
they
so.
do.
Animation style now.
Alright.
Yeah. Also, is a significantly different style.
That's right.
I think this is. She actually references the Heaven Smiles here. Hold on a sec.
Something's up with him. Although I don't quite know what. This is an old town, and we respect tradition. I can't get along with a bunch of newcomers who just waltzed on in. No way.
Okay. No, she must not have said that. I think that, the newcomers that she's referencing, I think, are the Heaven Smiles. That's something else that's really interesting about this town is, like, as per the conversation that you have with one of the remnant psyches, that, like, this town's population, like, is, like, basically cut in half, but there's the same number of people there who are recruits and newcomers. So, like, a lot of the people moving in are apparently in some way related to the Heaven Smiles. Oh, so cool looking.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I love when that happens.
Uh-huh. Let's see what number 7 is. Oh, that's Andre Almeida doing the hustle thrust. All right. I never realized that, but okay. Yeah.
Guess it must be a thing.
Yeah, Travis is, maybe he knows Travis as well. Oh, yeah. These are, like, among my favorite Heaven Smiles to fight.
Yeah. Kind of a novel idea.
Spin them around.
Yeah. Also, it's great when, like, if your enemy slow kicks in, then you have, like, so much more time.
It's also kind of annoying because you can't hit that thing on their back until they've turned around to a certain point.
Yeah.
How do you express your faith? Yeah, I still... Even as sort of vague as this is, I just wonder if, like, anybody tried to make this today, they would, I don't know, be doing, like, an ESRB pass or something like that and just come across the lines and be like, ah.
Thus begins the long haul up to Almeida's. This has... I really like, in a game that is so abstractly representative, it represents, this world so abstractly. I really like when there are, like, concrete images that are showing up in the background, like these posters and stuff. And so I'm particularly enamored of one of the sections that's coming up next, because it has those, like, visual prompts to give you an idea of like how this world views itself.
This is an SB broadcast, man. There's at least like 2 Dark Souls references you can make right there.
But why? But why?
So over it now, John.
Yeah, I know, right? Dark Souls is sold in 2012.
It's the Call of Duty of hipster games.
Yeah, that's right. I've really got to finish that game.
I just finished it twice on PC. As much as I love to talk shit about the, I don't know, the dialogue surrounding it, it's a really good game.
Oh, yeah, it's a winner. Oh, yeah, yes, here we go.
Yeah, I know him.
This guy, Sour Grapes.
He's a good man. I'm not way into him or anything. He did his job, but didn't excel. He's one of those guys nobody notices. I kind of think he was just lucky. But it is strange. What? No, just talking to myself. I mean, how could a lowly postal worker take over such a big corporation? It could have been me. He's hardly worth the shirt on his back. What an asshole. He sold the damn town. He sold our souls.
Was it Studio IG that did this?
Fake.
I don't know.
Because it looks like...
They did one of the chapters, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, because that kind of looks like almost cut-rate Kill Bill animation, in a way. It's like the same kind of style.
Yeah, I can see that. I wonder...
I know they did that.
You turn around if you would go back into it. Nope, you just go through it.
Ah. Oh, well.
Almeida has replaced the eagle on the USPS with its own face. Largest catalog retailer group. Yes, this is it. That yeah, he wraps it all in jargon.
Specialized revolutionary global distribution system.
That means that we sell magazines that advertise things that don't exist. This is kind of a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner feel.
Yeah.
Like I kind of half expect to see like one of these spires right here, and you know, like just like an oversized rock at the very top ready to topple. Also, holy crap! I never noticed this before, but like these phone wires, or the power lines, go up there, and then they go all the way to the top of this ridge for some reason. That's a neat little detail that I had never noticed before.
That's pretty cool.
engineering.
Yeah, also that's where it stops, so it's like they got that far and they're like, whew, I'm beat for this, man.
Fucking nobody's looking at this crap. Their level modeler was like, I'm going home.
That's right.
I'm modeling crap that's way up in the air. No one's looking at this shit. That's why I love it whenever they put out like...
When the first few of these things appear, you'll probably naturally look up to see if you can nail them.
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, you guys have probably like loaded up like map viewers for games and things like that, right? And you see a lot of the stuff that just gets... Like, some of it clearly should be tucked away. Like, you know, you could tell they were doing, like, repeating chunks of the level, so there's, like, bits of it stuck outside of the playable area so they can just cut and paste. But then you find, like, whole other chunks of stuff out there that was clearly going to be something, or they were clearly working on something and just kind of gave up.
I'd be interested to find, to look at this game's environments in a map.
Yeah. I wish
like,
there was...
Without all the after effects and everything, it'd be...
Actually, I think...
I wonder if it would just look plain.
Yeah, it's just like...
Flat
Not even
surfaces.
collision, it's just like, yeah, flat textures everywhere, and then they just threw shaders over it.
I think Analogous, Jarrell, was working on something similar with looking at Killer7 in a Dolphin emulator. I'm not sure, but he had some neat stuff that he was doing with that.
They did that with someone did it with the Silent Hill games. I remember that was really cool because they did stuff like in Silent Hill 2, when you find the guy who's dead in front of the TV, they flip the camera around to see who it was.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's James.
Yeah, and it was James. And then they did the thing with in Silent Hill 3 with the hand that's just sticking up out of the window. And they stuck the camera below it, and the hand just terminates below the window, and there's nothing there. But the guy who posted it was just like, I'm not even a joke. Like, my heart was pounding when I swung the camera around to see what was down there.
Huh.
And
There was another thing in Silent Hill 3 where I think it's in the hospital. There's like a
God,
room surrounded
yes.
by windows.
Oh God!
And, like
frickin'
in
hero.
game, it's all obscured. But inside, there's like this intricately designed scene
Yeah,
that you'll
yeah,
never
yeah,
see unless you hack it.
Really?
yeah. I remember reading
Yeah,
that.
and
Was crazy.
it's not something I really want to describe. It's something you have to see for yourself.
Google that.
Okay. Definitely.
It's another one that had all that stuff was what was it? Shadow of the Colossus, where somebody figured out like they took the cape and they flew to like whole chunks of like the world that had been blocked.
And I saw one recently. They found some sort of dam-like structure.
Yeah, it was whole bits of the world, because you got to figure like they make these things huge, and then it's like anything. When you film a movie, they might film 12 hours of footage, and then they have to trim it down.
Right.
Games go the same way, where they just have one guy whose job is like, hey, here's a map, build this shit. And he puts stuff everywhere, and then they figure out where the player is going to go, and then anywhere that he's not going to go, they just put barriers there, or they cut it out, or whatever.
Right.
So, it's for this game, I would be really fascinated to see stuff like that. Like, I wonder if, given the amount of stuff that's already in the game that you can play, and the amount of detail that's in there, you have to wonder. Like, were there other parts they were working on fervently before it was like, shit, guys, we're headed up to deadline, we gotta sweep this off the table, and it's just floating out there in the game code somewhere.
Right.
There probably would be some interesting stuff in there because the game was pushed back multiple times.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And especially when this came out, I don't think I'm breaking NDA by saying this, but there's a rule where you can't have stuff in the game code that doesn't pertain to the game when you submit something. So a lot of stuff that's like completely extra to everything has to get removed.
Oh wow.
And now if you can't tell by looking at the game files, then it doesn't matter. So I mean, if it's just like, if this level was like, chapter 4 .bin or whatever it is,
Right.
there's no way to look at it, so they couldn't check that. But if there was like whole other chunks of stuff in there and there were art assets for them and stuff that never showed up anywhere, that can't be on the submission build that goes out to certification.
Okay.
So, but that actually came about because of the hot coffee thing.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
Because
That makes sense, yes.
That's exactly why that rule came into effect. The Rockstar's logic, which made sense, was that players have no way to get to this stuff, so who cares? It's a DVD, it takes up a little bit of extra space.
Au
Whatever.
contraire.
Yep. Yeah, and then the PC version came out, nobody thought to cut that stuff, and that happened. So, but this predates that. And
Yeah.
you saw that another, like Jet Moto 2, I think it was, had whole other levels in it that were just cut because they were supposed to be reserved for like a promotion down the line or something like that never happened.
Yeah, and you can also find stuff like, I think on the DVDs for Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3, there's cut content like, I think that there's some code suggesting that Snake was supposed to be swimming out of the tanker, therefore giving some sort of prelude to Raiden's sequence.
Yep.
Also,
Whole chunk of,
James, have you seen in PAL territories, MGS2 Sons of Liberty was released with a sort of a French company did a few documentaries on Konami games, like big Konami games back in the day, and we got translated versions of those for Silent Hill 2 and MGS2.
Really?
Have you seen those at all?
And those are different from like the document of MGS2. But
Yeah, they were done by a French company called Fun TV, I believe.
okay.
I think I've heard of this.
Yeah, but in that, Kojima actually directly addresses that missing tanker scenario, like escaping, running away from the water in the tanker.
Yeah.
That stuff that got cut.
Oh, cool.
And basically, the reason that they took it out was that from a gameplay perspective, it just plain wasn't fun.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's basically,
I remember.
you're running away from the water, and if it catches up to you, you die. That was basically it.
That's always like the most depressing reason.
Yeah.
Whenever you see like cut footage, you're always like, "Oh, but that looks so fun," and they're just like, "Oh, we took it out because it sucked."
It is not fun.
And you're just like, well, it's funny because you hear people like, "Oh, but I totally would have played it." It's like if it was in the game, that would be the part you complain about. The only reason you have any interest in it is because you didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
Which it's this fun little dichotomy because it's just human nature. It's you want to see the thing that you're not allowed to see.
Yeah.
You know, even if it was cut for a
I think
reason.
it seems genuinely pretty fun, though. I mean,
Okay.
It could be, but especially if it showed up in like a trailer for something, they doctor that stuff to look fun.
Well,
They have. And when you actually go to play it, what was it? God of War had stuff like that in it, where David Jaffe actually like narrated clips of stuff that had been cut out, which I think is really cool, and I wish more developers would do that. And he just straight up said like I don't know if you guys have played God of War 1, but Kratos does this thing, and then he has to go climb a Titan and go to the giant puzzle thing that exists on its back. And originally one of the levels was you climb up the Titan.
Yeah.
And instead it's just a cutscene that shows him doing it. And he actually went on the DVD for the game and showed clips of the level while it was in production, and he's like, yeah, we kind of just ran out of time, and it was really buggy, and it wasn't fun. So here's what it looked like. You know, I wish we could have put it in there. It was a really cool idea, but it just wasn't working. But anyway, here's what was supposed to be, so if you're wondering why suddenly Kratos is at the top of the thing, we had something to address that. So
Right.
that's why. And I love it.
Part in the desert, was it? Where
It was... I don't think... this is God of War 1.
Yeah, God of War 1's the only
Was it?
one.
Okay.
And I think I pretty much got to a desert, and there was a Titan wandering around. And
Yeah.
to do stuff on the Titan.
Yeah, you have to do stuff
And then
like...
my game just broke.
Oh no.
Yeah, you
So
actually
that's
you
fun.
stopped right before it then. It was supposed to be like the Titan wanders into a sandstorm, so it was going to be like the equivalent of a water is rising level type thing.
Okay.
And you were in this one little pocket of non-obliterated air where there like wasn't sand blowing through, and you had to jump up the side of him and like climb up him, which is, they kind of went back to it in God of War 3, probably on purpose. But yeah, just stuff like I don't know. You even saw it in Dark Souls, actually. If you've got the art book for that, there's all these pages in there that have pictures of things that aren't in the game.
And quite a lot of that actually ended up getting used in
In the DLC, yeah.
the Artorias of the Abyss.
Yeah, you got the chimeras, and you have the dragon, who is totally not from Kingsfield.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, he got used. But there was other stuff. I got the Japanese art book thing. I was looking through that. There's a lot of stuff in there, and he actually explains, which was nice. There's an interview in the back in Japanese that explains why some of that stuff got taken out.
Nice.
I just wish they would... Like, I give David Jaffe credit for that, and I really wish there was a version of this game that had that in there, where it was just Suda51, like, commentating, you know?
Yeah, I would be really interested to see things like these questions right here. The way that this is formatting. I mean, there's like blood and or red marker circling different answers and stuff like that. But the backgrounds are very strange. Like this is like, so here, there's like supposed to be a panel, and the questions are maybe showing up as little slides at the top of the panel, and you have these 3 buttons to push. And you know, it's like here, there's a knife. It looks like it's entirely for stylistic purposes, but
Why is there a folding razor sitting right there?
Exactly. And the third one, like agency, is for some reason stuck on there. And, you know...
It looks like a blacked out version of the Nissan logo.
I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be.
Let's see, this is... Yeah, but
What?
Even this right here, like, there's like this weird, picture of an angel statue down there. I don't...
It looks like... they just hit up Google. They're like, just show us some weird shit. Yeah, throw that in the game. Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
I bet that happens a lot more than it doesn't. To be perfectly honest with you, when they have to just have like random stuff like this I guarantee
Yeah.
you someone's just going to Google and going like, what looks fucked up enough
Yeah, well,
that I can drop it in here.
or that you can like obscure and mess up enough so that it's not
Right.
immediately recognizable. So somebody's not like, hey, give me licensing money or something.
And then like,
Those were the days when they actually bothered, and then you have Mass Effect 3, which basically outright uses images from Google in its ending.
oh yeah,
This
that was
right,
great.
what does this look like? It looks like a date.
It looks like
It's
a date.
in Japanese.
Do you want me to get my fiance to try to read it? She speaks Japanese.
Yeah, do that. That would be awesome.
Hang on. Can you try to read this for us?
40, 12,
It's in Japanese.
What's that? Maybe 1940.
Hang on, she's coming over here.
Okay, cool.
It's half cut off, but here. See if you can. What does that say? It's backwards, I know. Yeah, what's it say?
Oh, it's the 31st of December.
1940.
That's Showa. Yeah, no, it's Showa 40. That's why.
Oh, okay. That's like Japanese exclusive dating.
Who started
And?
for World War II. So.
Something about World War II.
No, Showa Emperor. And
The Showa Emperor.
Era, let's see, 40 would be somewhere in
So she says it's somewhere in the 80s.
Wow.
Okay.
She's trying to figure it out. It's based on.
It's based on the reign of an emperor. So this is Hirohito,
So Hirohito,
whose reign ended in 1980.
whose reign ended in 1989.
Okay.
So there you go.
Hirohito, yeah, he was the one who was the imperial, like the last imperial emperor, wasn't he? Essentially, because like that was, I mean, World War II is when Japan's imperial ambitions were finally put down.
Yeah.
So.
How topical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also
So
interesting.
it actually
because,
is something.
I mean, it also fits back completely with a lot of the games, the themes of the game, because so much of it is about Japan's political identity following the sort of what is now regarded as a conservative isolationist ideology, but back then was just simply, that was the status quo of political policy. And
Hang on, she says I can't add for shit. 1965, she says. Okay, never mind. She's looking up Showa 40 right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, oops.
He became emperor in like 1928 or something. I just can't.
She says he became emperor in like 1928 or something, and I can't add.
Rybot in the Twitch chat says Showa Year 40 is 1965.
There, yeah, I see that. Yeah, she's looking it up right now.
Thank you, Rybot.
Oops.
Thank you. Thank you.
They say thank you.
Fiance.
She says, yep.
But yeah, that's really
There
cool.
you go.
It's also interesting because you've got like this is sort of like indicative, or at least it falls in line with a lot of the overlapping of Japanese and American identities, because here you have a Showa emperor date, and right here you've got a United States seal or stamp or something like that.
Yeah, I was wondering about that actually.
So this is it's things like this that like I sort of like stare at, and there's enough that is thematically cogent to make me feel that something significant is going on, but I don't exactly know what, and that's...
It puts that question out there. The whole thing playing this game, it's like, is this intentional, or is he just fucking with us, essentially, where it's just, meh, this is sort of relevant, just, throw it in there, let people chew on it. 8 years down the road, there's going to be a bunch of jackasses making a podcast. They're going to make a big deal about it. We found that shit on Google.
President's psychological loyalty analysis.
Yes. Well, I mean, every psychological analysis is basically a game of memory. I mean, to be honest. Oh yeah,
We're getting close to the big reveal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And this is the guard because Almeida beckoned Garcian, and it's interesting that that Almeida seems to perceive. I don't know. He recognizes the Killer-7 approaching. Even though you've been at least changing into Persona to be able to do the break-ins with Coyote. But at the same time, even though this year's Kevin Smith, Garcian is having been the one who was invited. you're basically let in under his credentials.
Yeah. So I still wonder how close he was in this whole thing, if at all.
I've always wondered at what points in the game which characters can actually see the Smith persona and which ones actually see Emir as himself.
I wonder if they all see Emir, but he's just acting differently. I mean,
that's what I was wondering.
Well, specifically I'm thinking of Trevor Pearl Harbor in the...
Oh yeah, because he sees Dan.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
Holy shit,
Good
it's
point.
Dan Smith!
Also, Curtis Blackburn. Curtis sees Dan, and if anybody should not see Dan, it would be Curtis, because Curtis
Yes.
knows that he killed him. Johnny
Encounter
boy.
is another interesting chapter,
It's
actually.
like as weird as it sounds, it's almost like a Family Guy situation. Like, can anybody hear the baby talk? Well, they can when it is funny.
Right, yeah.
In this game, they can when it advances the plot.
Well, and also,
otherwise, it's just completely ambiguous.
there's also, like here with these memos, Johnny Gagnon, this character, is describing the Smiths individually and perceives them in some sort of relationship of exchange, but he doesn't really understand what's going on. So It's like there's that attestation as well.
Yeah, and I can't even think of another way the game could do it, because it would ruin the actual big reveal. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, the first time you're playing it, if you knew straight up that it's all the same guy, that kills it when you finally see that, especially because the game throws so many red herrings at you and makes it so ambiguous. And plus, everything else is so completely fucking weird that you don't even... It's like the bottom of your list of, like, weird crap to figure out by the time you've gotten there.
Right.
That when it finally comes out of nowhere, you're like, oh!
James, could you go back and look at the memo screen?
Yeah, just 1 second. I need to get out of harm's way here.
Yep.
Okay. Oh no, right. You can't access that screen in Harmon's room. All right.
Oh, well.
Going back out. Now let's take a look here.
Just doing a bit of detective work here.
Okay.
Oh god. The Smiths.
If this checks out, yeah, all of these are titles of songs by the Smiths.
Yep. Oh yeah. Meat is Murder is a big one.
Yeah, I probably should have gotten into the Smiths because of this game, but I never wound up listening to them.
This game is a good reason to never ever get into this. This tells you all you need to know. The only reason I know that is because I lived with a fairly emo vegan roommate for a couple years, and he was obsessed with the Smiths.
Really?
And he had moved out, but when I started playing this game, I was like, wait, what the hell?
It's like he never left.
Oh god, I was like, really? All of these? And I actually, as soon as he said that, I was like, oh man, yeah, there's so many Smiths references in this game. Which is cool, but after a while, you're kind of like, alright, they weren't that good.
God damn it.
Of all the games to put them in.
Yeah, I kind of like, even though I understand the referential sort of like homage to the Smiths in that regard here, I still find the Smith language and naming to be much more interesting. It's like as a kind of statement of anonymity, or of loss of identity or something.
And then your hopes for it to be deep are shot down when you realize he just picked names off of a band.
Yeah. Dude likes some old punk, but that's it.
It's not even punk.
Is it?
It's
I don't know anything about.
I'm not gonna rag on the Smiths endlessly,
Oh,
but I've heard way too much of them stuff.
Oh yes.
But it did kill that for me when I was. If you know the Smiths, you know that that's the joke.
Here we go.
Yep.
My fiance says less awesome Cure.
Man,
Right.
that's oh man, that's a really cool, sort of like detailed cloud that contrasts nicely with the sort of like very sharp silhouette.
There are some beautiful scenes in this game.
Yeah, it really
it's
is
so fun with the work.
the contrast.
You know, like you got other stuff that looks like Google stuff just plopped in there, and then it's like, hey, when it comes out of here, we're gonna make this cloud look really fucking cool.
Here we go. There's the man.
Ah, you made it.
That seems to be a Japanese thing too. It's whatever the player's going to be looking at. Let's make it look awesome. Everything else can look like crap.
Yeah.
Doesn't it just add to how creepy this scene is that the corporate headquarters cardboard thing falls over, and yet the little Almeida cult is still doing what it's doing out in the desert anyway. It's like nobody's distressed about the fact that the sham has just completely fallen over.
Today's job is done.
Yep.
They've lost.
Also, they like, where are they going from? I don't understand this.
Don't be alarmed. These are good citizens. No heaven smile.
Yeah. Hey, they're all in the trailer. It's like a clown car.
Congratulations.
And they're very unhappy.
Is it really me?
Yes.
Oh, that guy looks.
Wow, I can't believe it.
Well, he's
calm down.
thrilled as shit.
Relax, Clemens. Your job has just begun. Calm down.
It's like the creepiest scene in the whole chapter, too.
Yeah.
You're right. What should I do?
Like I told you, first you need to relax.
God, I forgot about this.
All right.
Probably will be.
And this is Almeida's doing weird human testing on people.
Yeah. No, I remember what it is. I think I purposely forced myself to forget this scene.
It really creeped you out?
That.
Oh, okay.
Just how happy that she is.
Gotcha, yeah.
At the end of, when you gun through this whole chapter really quick and then you get to that, you're like, God, what now? What else are you going to throw at me? I kept waiting for something terrible to happen.
Me too. I kept waiting for like his face.
Especially after he says, "Don't drive yourself to death."
And when
you're just like, I'm gonna see something really fucked up, aren't I? Like something just unforgivably awful.
I honestly kept expecting like his face to like invert and rip off of his skull at this.
That's exactly what I thought was gonna happen.
Because it looks like it's one.
Then again, it is a car with afterburners, so
yeah.
what were you expecting?
So I infected myself with all kinds.
Human resource development.
Yeah, that's right. This is the essence of HR recruitment right here. No Six Sigma bullshit for Almeida.
This is what we're gonna have you doing.
That's right.
Doesn't that shit look fun?
Fill out this application. Sorry, you just took my pulse. Good enough.
Get in the car. Little sneer he does. I love that.
To kill me. If I catch Heaven's smile, you gotta kill me. I heard you're the only one who can kill them.
Just the way his expression changes from slightly joking and coy just to outright fear.
Yeah, and he weeps. And also that, like, it's like, again, with sort of like all the red herrings, like, it's like, what are the Heaven's Smile? Now they're like a virus, and for some reason the U.S. government infected him with it.
Yeah. It's
Which really isn't the best plan for somebody you're trying to abduct or dispose of. Inject them with a virus that turns them into a superhuman suicide bomber.
It's like the Resident Evil contingency. It's like, shit, we got this guy as a problem. Pump him full of this thing that turns him into an unstoppable killing machine. That's a great idea.
Oh, I love this. Like what happens when Almeida's blood comes down.
Oh, yes.
Like, his blood is so full of pathogens and so full of disease that it actually causes blindness to erupt.
I told you to kill me.
Yeah, what I was saying before, how I wish I could record people who are seeing this for the first time who don't play games. Like, this was the part when it's just reality has come off of its hinges for them, and they're just like, "What the fuck are you showing?"
Yes. Oh god, it's just so horrible.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Just like watching the blood drip and pool on the bottom of his helmet from his nose and mouth and eyes.
And then his head
Then
just
all of a sudden it turns into laser-like whips.
It's like the Hellraiser version of like an ELO show. It's just and the fact that they're doing all of this relatively straight faced too. It's you're just staring at it like, what?
Yes,
Really?
and his afro becomes a locus of his madness and pain.
Yeah, this is where most people just check out mentally. They're just like, all right, I've clearly not done enough acid.
Let's see, is there a Armin's room here? Nope. This is, okay, those are little monitors, and I guess that's, I don't even know what that is. Bench or something.
I just love how after all that, the game just plunks you down. It's like, okay, go.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you...
Time to start playing again.
If you can go back.
In the strange maze of abandoned ambulances.
Yes, yes. Man, this just like hits up exactly how much like Harmon's room is an otherworldly space, because you went through that other door and you went into a three-dimensional space, and this is exactly what's behind it in real life, you know?
Cardboard.
Although, if that point needed driving home by this point in the game, you weren't paying attention.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like I said,
this is the game's way of telling you, yeah, you're not really getting this, are you? Yeah.
Parent. Like I said, though, it's at this point in the game, like the level of like weird shit you need to figure out has stacked up like Jenga tower high. So at that point, you're just like, all right, whatever. I just came out of the cardboard, and some dude's head flew off, and his afro now a giant.
You know what? I don't even.
Oh yes, this is really cool. Like in the boss fights, if you try to use your special abilities, it will give you that little message at the bottom, like "Stop messing around."
I still like the Power Rangers fight at the end when he turns off the TV in frustration. That was the best. Like, I don't even know if I can call it fourth wall breaking. I don't even know what you would call that, but. Whereas Segawa, I was playing against a character in a video game, in another video game, based on another Super Sentai series. Okay.
Yeah.
Put down the cocaine.
This is one of the coolest
boss fight
music.
always gave me
Yeah.
This boss fight always gave me a bit of trouble because it's just so claustrophobic.
Oh god, yes. This.
Yeah.
I like that it makes you think you're gonna fight him in like this big open area too. Nope.
Yes, exactly. In an open desert town area.
Yeah. Nope. You get to fight him in a trailer.
Oh man, it's always so nerve-wracking.
Yeah, for something that moves so slowly, you really have to watch your back in here.
This is where I can kind of see the really strong Resident Evil influence coming in on it too, because I think Resident Evil has had like 5 boss fights that are kind of like this too. It's weird. So Resident Evil 5, where you have to fight Wesker in a hallway, is actually pretty close. This is even more strange, but there you go. Sort of, maybe. There you go.
Oh.
Oh, you fucked it up.
Yep. I dropped the ball.
Oh, don't get ow. Jeez.
Why would I have an advantage if I didn't blow it? I mean, guys, you know me.
It's a talent, man.
Exactly.
Invisible smiles, no problem. 1-shot kill. Visible smile? Fuck. Getting blown up on.
There's no.
Why can't I aim all these guns?
Oh yeah, somebody had the foresight after Almeida went all super horror scion that somebody put the building back up, and that's kind of nice. Okay, somebody's saying that they don't have audio on the stream, so hold on.